Hello, beautiful people. My name is Athol, YouTuber talking about marriage relationships and getting what you want from them. And in this episode, I'm going to talk about something that is a little bit of an ugly truth. It's not something most people like really consciously thinking about. And that's that in any kind of relationship, there is always a power dynamic between the two people involved. And we really don't like thinking of this sort of stuff too consciously, because we like love to feel magical and mystical and a completely visceral experience where everything just works and everybody is just happy and the emotion sort of runs the whole thing. And it just works because we love each other, and it's awesome. But the truth is, there is always a power dynamic in every human relationship. And that power dynamic may be 100% power to one person and none to the other, or it could be 75-25 or 50-50, or sloping the other way, 25% for you, 75% for them, or they have absolutely all the power and you have none. But there is always some sort of power dynamic in the relationship. And it usually shakes down to a leader and follower dynamic to at least some extent. And that's both in the sense of the relationship as a whole. One person may be the default leader for just about everything, and the other one the follower. And it can be sometimes for particular tasks or skills or things within the relationship. One person may be the general leader, but in specific to something, another person may be that specific leader for that thing. And I want you to get that this is really common in all human relationships. We are incredibly social creatures. We're very social animals. And when we get together, we tend to form into groups, and somehow the group always picks a leader, and the leader always sets direction, and the group always follows. And this is through every facet of human interaction. I mean, even as something as simple as sports. I mean, when you have two teams playing a sport, yeah, there's a referee on the field that is technically in charge of everything, and there's two coaches on the sidelines saying, what they should do. But we always pick a team captain. And in terms of the game itself, how the game is played, the team captain has no particular role, no particular additional abilities. It's not like if you're, playing soccer or whatever, it's not like if a team captain scores a goal, you get 2 points. It's not like they have any special skills, abilities, traits, anything that is going to influence the outcome of the game in terms of the rules. But we just have team captains because we form as groups, and the team captain creates that little bit of group discipline. And sometimes the referee talks to the team captain because the team captain has influence over their players. But this is all social. It is all a social construct. It is all just the relationships and interactions. The team captain has no particular role in that game other than influencing his team. It's also true, and you can see this absolutely clearly, with a parent-child relationship. There's no question that the parent loves the child and that the child loves the parent. But there's a really clear imbalance between the two of them in terms of who has the power. Absolutely true when it's an infant. As they get older, that balance can shift a little more as they become more self-regulating. And certainly by the time they're teenagers, they are starting to assert themselves and push back. And they are trying to claim power for themselves. This is just about the entire reason why teenagers are difficult, because they're trying to upset the balance of power and be powerful themselves. So and if there's not a power dynamic between a parent and child, there really should be, especially when they are little. I'm sure you've seen families where a 3-year-old or a 6-year-old is actually the one running the show, and how catastrophically disorganized those families are. It's the same with best friends. With any best friend relationship, whether it's 2 guys or 2 girls or whatever it is, there's almost always a leader and a follower. There's almost always one of them deciding, let's go see a movie. There's almost one of them saying, this is the movie we will see. Let's go to this restaurant. Let's do this thing. I'm throwing a party. one person setting the agenda and the other one following along. And they can be perfectly happy relationships. It doesn't mean there's not love between them. It doesn't mean they don't like each other or don't respect each other. So in terms of a marriage or whatever your relationship is, there's two of you, and almost invariably you're going to form into a hierarchy of two. One person is going to lead, one person is probably going to follow. So the question is not at all, is there a power dynamic? There's a power dynamic for every human situation. If you get on a bus, the bus driver is in control. On that bus, the bus driver calls the shots and sees what happens. Doesn't matter if there's a CEO and the mayor in the back of the bus driver is controlling things. They're in charge for that social situation. So it's not a question is there a power dynamic? Is there a hierarchy of two? There absolutely is. There will always be. The real question is, what is that leadership like? Is it a benign leadership? Is it a caring leadership? Is it someone that is invested? Is it someone that actually cares and is truly concerned about the person they're in the relationship with? Are they invested, connected, kind, caring, compassionate, thoughtful, and strong? Or are they cold, uncaring, checked out, disinterested, exploitative, abusive, harsh, cruel? That's the real question, because when the leader is basically good, the power dynamic is not some concern. Everything runs pretty smoothly. The leader's happy, the follower's happy. But when the leadership is crappy, eventually the follower starts saying, this really sucks, and I don't want to be here anymore. I'm unhappy. I'm miserable. And if you watched yesterday's video about missed signals, sometimes this is when they start signaling they're really unhappy. And sometimes the leader doesn't really care or notice or whatever it is. So summing up, there's always a power dynamic in every relationship. That power dynamic can be a benign one, or it can be a slightly more cynical, cold one. But there's always one. And I think a big question to ask yourself too is, whether or not I'm actually the leader or am I the follower, and what does that mean? Anyway, gonna leave it there. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good internet stuff, and I will see you tomorrow.